count as a victory in the entire fight. As we'll see shortly, the referee will introduce Dan Messi in the blue shorts and Shagon Dankulu in the orange shorts. In the beautiful city of Kano, this bout takes place in the sandpits, brought to you by the African Warriors Fighting Championship and Stake.com. Dan Messi is in the blue shorts as a reminder, and Shagon Dankulu is in the orange shorts. The fight will begin shortly. Shagon Dankulu in the orange shorts showing his respect to the audience. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, the fight begins now. As you can see, Dan Messi, the taller, longer man, utilizing the shield, his left hand. That was a feint with the feet. You can see him utilizing all that space because he's tall. Ooh, feinting first with the left, that's the shield, and then throwing over with the spear. That's the overhand with the right hand in the glove of rope. Shagon Dankulu is in the orange shorts, looking unfazed despite the heavy physical deficit. Both men trading gloves right now. Shagon Dankulu pressing forward. Dan Messi, the taller man in the blue shorts, covering all that space in the sandpit. You can see he has all that room to walk around. More showmanship for the audience. These men are warriors. Shagon Dankulu cutting to the left. Dan Messi throwing twice and missing. Ooh, Shagon Dankulu got evicted from the sandpit there, which means that he loses the point in this round. Dan Messi, oppressive, still with all the right physical attributes, the height, the reach. And the referee calling for a break. Once again, this is the African Warriors Fighting Championship. Ooh, solid placement with the overhand right from the spear with Dan Messi in the blue. And you can see Shagon Dankulu trying to retaliate, just getting out of harm's way right there. And again, once you can see, Dan Messi knows he's taller, he's longer, so he presses forward rather oppressively, reminding me of Mike Tyson back in the day. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the traditional and cultural sport of Dambe. Fighters get urged on in the most unique and authentic of ways, true to the culture. And now, round two. Dan Messi again occupying the center of the sandpit. Shagon Dankulu more worse for wear now. You can see him more tentative in his steps. He's not being as flat-footed as he once was. You can see him exchanging positions, now occupying the center of the sandpit. Excellent strategic work from him right there. Dan Messi throwing and missing. Both men landing on the counter. Those gloves are thick and they are hard. They hit heavy and they hit fatally. Do not underestimate it while watching through the camera, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, both men occupying space. Dan Messi is already planted, ready to explode. Ooh, both men exchanging. It appears Shagon Dankulu came out better on that one. Dan Messi looking really confident in the blue shorts, occupying the center of the sandpit. Shagon Dankulu moving backwards. You can see the face. The face is occupied with the shield and the spear is thrown over that while the eyes are distracted. It's a common KO tactic in Dambe, and you can see it occupying the face right there, and boom, two overhand rights occupied the head of Shagon Dankulu from Dan Messi right there. Dan Messi looking really confident, having a really solid placement in the eyes of the judges right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the African Warriors Fighting Championship in collaboration with Stake.com. And as you can see, Dan Messi can smell blood. Feinting with the lead hand, that is the shield. Cutting the right side of the sandpit and keeping his opponent at bay. Oh, that was another solid connection from the right. Another solid connection. Another one. That's three right hands. Referee putting them right back into the middle of the pit. Shagon Dankulu looks like he's hurt. Dan Messi looking confident. Oh, the height and reach discrepancy showing why it matters in all combat sports right now. Shagon Dankulu tapping his hand as if to say, I'm still here. Oh, that left hand to occupy, that left shield, the shield to occupy, and the right hand to destroy. Two right hands connecting on the head of Shagon Dankulu. The heart falling off. He's coming back. These men are warriors, ladies and gentlemen. The officials still watching. Dan Messi keeping him at the edge of that pit, at the edge of the sand pit. If he gets pushed out, that's one less point for him in a fight that he already looks to be struggling to keep up in. Dan Messi, excellent footwork. You can see him cutting all that space using the real estate he has and landing twice in succession. Shagon Dankulu landing once in between as well. Excellent exchange from both men. And ladies and gentlemen, it appears we've gotten to the end of the second round. As you can see in the replay, Dan Messi occupying with the shield and throwing with the spear. Shagon Dankulu actually landing a really nice counter in between. Dan Messi working the body in between. I didn't even catch that on the first break. And you can see the spear landing on the head of Shagon Dankulu. The heart still on at this exchange. Boom, you can see that again. Solid right hand connection from Dan Messi. Oh, that right hand was money from Dan Messi in this round. And you can see the footwork. Do you see him hopping back, keeping all that space steady at the range where he is deadly and Shagon Dankulu struggles? Excellent work. African Warriors Fighting Championship presented to you by Stake.com. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you can see Dan Messi getting rehydrated in between rounds. The referee pushing them, and it's round 3. Dan Messi already occupying the center of the pit. That's the first thing. He uses the real estate that he has, occupying that, coupled with all his physical attributes to keep Dan Messi on the back foot constantly. And it's been paying dividends the entire time. 3-minute rounds, that will wear off on anyone, especially in a sport as brutal as Dambe. And you can see the footwork. Both men using foot feints to establish dominance in their individual territory. All fights start with real estate. All fights start with distance management, managing your real estate, managing the reach and the measuring the reach between your strikes and your opponent. Where are you vulnerable versus where are they? And you can see Dan Messi measuring and landing 4 overhand rights with his spear in succession. This is 6 if I'm counting correctly. And you can see him is right back into the action and pressing in, feinting with the feet. I'm looking like I'm going low, but I might go high. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dambe from the heart of Africa, Central West Africa, Nigeria, in the beautiful regal city of Kano. Presented to you by the African Warriors Fighting Championship and Stake.com. Dan Messi feinting with the feet, and you can see that Shagon Dankulu is already so far back. Boom! 2 overhand rights for Dan Messi. 1/3, another 4th. A 5th, and he throws a kick. That's another thing that we don't see enough of, kicks in this beautiful sport of Dambe. And you can see Dan Messi moving forward again. He can smell blood. Shagon Dankulu has been moving on the back foot the entire time, tapping his shoulder as if to say he's hurt. But you can see moving forward. The clinch game in Dambe is another thing. Like the kicks, we don't see enough of the clinch game. The referee separating them and pushing them right back to the action. Dan Messi going right back in for the kill. He can smell blood. Oh, that was 4 unanswered punches and he lands on the floor. That's a victory in that round, and that should count as a victory for Dan Messi. And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the replay. That was the kick that began to spell doom. And then you had the overhand right landing solidly on the head of Shagon Dankulu. Dan Messi landing again, overhand right. 3 times, 4 times. Perhaps to the back of the head, but at the same time there were many that landed on the chin and on the face that were unanswered in the beginning of these bouts, and that was the kill in the 3rd. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Messi is a beast and he is an athlete. Look at the dominance in that step over. The African Warriors Fighting Championship from the heart of West Africa, presenting Dambe with you. Live on the internet with stake.com.